I think 40 and 45 are semi-impractical choices for concealed carry today.
Agreed. All right, let's head on to the next one. I think I threw you for a loop there because I skipped to the second one for some reason. But this is the next on the list for the most of the unpopular opinion, and this one is mine. And the idea here is that a gun is not the best way to defend yourself. I think one of the most important parts of the gun culture is the idea that no one's coming to save you, that, police officers and EMS, they're a long ways away or they're too far away to actually help you when you're going to need it. And so you need to get a gun so that you can defend yourself against a violent attack. And while I wholeheartedly approve and agree with the concept of carrying a weapon to protect yourself, I also think it's important to make sure that people understand that using a gun in a self-defense situation is a very low likelihood of a dangerous situation. If you really want to prepare to defend yourself adequately, I think there are better ways um, and more important ways to prepare yourself for that. Now, having a gun is one of those things where it helps to even the odds. If you are a smaller person, you don't have to train or prepare nearly as much to defeat a larger person. So it helps to even the odds quite a bit. But if you are worried about a violent encounter, the odds of you being in a gunfight are much, much lower than you being in a physical altercation. Physical altercations happen all the time. So if you really want to prepare for violence, you need to be preparing for a physical altercation first. And that means, learning some fighting, grappling, but also it means, being in the gym and getting to work out and making sure that you're healthy and that you can actually withstand an attack or even an injury if it happens. Like, one of the most important parts about health is not only just being able to fight or run away from a bad situation and save yourself, but it's also for recovering from injuries. So if you get injured in any sort of an emergency, um, the odds of you being attacked by an assailant are low. Is it possible? Sure. It's more likely you're going to be in a car accident, though. So if we're really preparing to defend ourselves and our families, then we need to be preparing for the most likely things first and kind of working our way down from that. So if you're only paying attention to, training with a firearm, I would caution you against that. And I would recommend, trying to um, strengthen your portfolio, diversify, if you will, and try to hit some of these other wickets of physical health, um, learning some basic fighting techniques on how to get people off of you and get them away from you. And then, of course, medical skills. No matter what emergency you're going to be in, you're probably going to need medical skills. And that's hands down going to be one of the most important things across the board, no matter what injury or emergency you're preparing for. So that's kind
Yeah.
of where I'm coming from on this.
Something else that I know is on your mind, but you didn't get to it, is also less lethal, right? It's not just physical medical gun, but pepper spray or other less lethal options. I want to make sure I'm being clear. Brian, you're not saying, your unpopular opinion is not that the gun is not the best tool in a gunfight, right? I think you would say that if you're in a gunfight, gun is the best tool. But
yes, absolutely. And the bigger and the more guns you have, the better.
yes, more gun, more ammo, more awesome. But I think what you're saying is, if in total self-defense preparedness land, which is the daily attitude that each of us chooses to embark on, that the gun may not be the most important most important tool in your toolbox.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking is like, what's the philosophy behind why we're doing what we're doing? Why are we learning how to defend ourselves? Like, what is our goal here? Is our goal are we just role playing here? Are we just putting on a gun because we think it's cool? Or are we putting on this gun for a particular reason? What is that reason? And do we have a logical reason for why we're carrying that gun? And I think if we're carrying that gun, that means we're trying to defend ourselves and our family. And we also need to think about, how can I do that better? And I think the best way you can do that is you start preparing for the most likely situation first and start working your way back towards less likely options. So I think if you're really trying to defend yourself or become a better defender, then maybe we should be paying attention to, this as a whole piece, as part of just one piece, which is the gunfighting.